Hi, everybody. Pasquale Scuderi, Superintendent, Alameda Unified School District, with a quick update for our families and community. I first and foremost just want to thank you for your patience and your flexibility. Students and families are experiencing this massive public health challenge and its disruptions in very different ways, and we in no way take your patience and flexibility for granted. We are trying to be responsive to a very wide range of needs across our district, and we are trying to respond to those needs with systems and staff members who are experiencing their own stress and disruption as a result of this pandemic. So again, your patience and your flexibility is in no way taken for granted, and we are working hard to improve what we are doing for kids and families every day. The big news, the extension of the shelter-in-place order. Yesterday, the Alameda County Public Health Officer was one of 7 public health officers from 7 Bay Area counties that extended the order through the end of May. That order continues to require that we adhere to social distancing protocols. It continues to insist that essential businesses and operations like our own school district continue to maximize the number of personnel who are working from home, and notes, and I quote, that all public and private gatherings of any number of people occurring outside a single household or living unit are prohibited. Governor Newsom made some comments on Tuesday that raised a lot of questions and maybe a little bit of anxiety. He suggested that we might be back to school in July or early August. I want to note that that is only a concept. I agree with the spirit of the governor's remarks. We all want to get back to school as soon as it is safe to do so. But I also want to note that that decision is a local decision, that our school calendar has traditionally and will continue to be something that staff develops in partnership with our labor unions, and that ultimately those calendars or those adjustments need to be approved by our local Board of Education. We are planning on 3 very different scenarios for August. One is a relatively traditional school opening, maybe not the most probable scenario that we can envision right now, but if the information from public health continues to trend in the right direction over the next 4, 8, 10 weeks, it is still a possibility. Secondly, if the information or the trends do not go well, I feel we need to be prepared to open in a fully virtual or online environment, similar to the one we're in now, but one that is very ramped up and that better approximates the experience and the rigor and the creativity of a school day. And third is that kind of hybrid model that you may have heard a lot of discussion about, one wherein we would creatively stagger how we schedule kids being on campus at different times, and that subgroups of kids would be put through the program at different times of day, and maybe even on different days of the week, and that maybe the collective would then have their learning complemented with a set of virtual or online experiences as well to tie everything together. These are 3 different scenarios that we feel we have to plan for, or variations on these 3 different scenarios. We think the investment in getting better at what we do online is going to be beneficial, irrespective of whether we open in a traditional way next year. We're all hearing a lot about a potential second wave of COVID-19. So my feeling is that we have to have the capacity and flexibility to shift or pivot very quickly into online space, even if we start the school year in a traditional way. Our hope, obviously, is that as the information from public health becomes more specific over the next several weeks, we'll be able to be more specific with you, our community, on where we think we will be come the start of school in August. Lots of conversation and discussion about graduation and promotion ceremonies. It has been one of the most difficult topics by virtue of the fact that it really is synonymous at this point with great disappointment for a good number of our students. And so we don't take this discussion or these decisions lightly in any way. My feeling is, however, that the shelter order still prohibits all public and private gatherings of any number of people. There is still, unfortunately, a cap on memorial services and the number of people that can attend them, 10, I believe, in the current order. And so the contemplation of any kind of physical or traditional graduation ceremony just seems to go against the spirit of the order right now. I think any scenario that I've been able to contemplate or that's been presented to me is still a scenario that is marked by a very low level of control coupled with a high level of accountability and responsibility. And it's for that reason that I don't believe, nor can I at this point support any type of physical graduation ceremony in June. And at this point, I don't see July as an option either. If the scenario improves from the public health perspective over time and deeper into the summer, we will certainly consider all options that become available as the orders are relaxed. We are doing our best right now to plan alternatives for our kids, not just our seniors, but our fifth graders moving on to middle school, our middle schoolers moving on to high school. And so hopefully we will be able to celebrate our students in creative and unique ways in the interim until we're able to do something larger, perhaps further down the road. Again, this is not a decision that we take lightly. It's nothing that I take pleasure in telling you, but I do believe taking the position that we're taking right now is the most safe and responsible one for our families, for our students, and for our larger community. Finally, I wanted to talk just briefly about school finances. You may have heard in recent days lots of discussion about the impact, the economic impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on the economy in general. But now we are starting to see increasingly specific ways in which the economics of this pandemic may ultimately be impacting schools. We received, along with every other district in the state, the governor's preliminary budget in January and are expecting a revision of that budget on May 14th. I don't raise the issue to raise doom and gloom or to just lay bad news on you, but I think the way that we position ourselves to better solve problems together as a community is to be very open and transparent about those problems when we see them in advance. And I think there is a very real possibility that with the potential for no cost of living adjustment in the revised budget on May 14th, that there may be some hard decisions and some significant economic challenges ahead for us on the back end of the public health piece of this crisis. So again, we will keep you posted on that. We know that this news and much of this update is not the rosiest updates that we could provide. But again, we want to be as candid and transparent with our community as possible. We hope to be communicating more information to you in the very near future. And we, like you, hope that we have much better news to report as time moves on. Again, thank you for hanging in there with us. We miss your kids and we miss being in our buildings very much. And we hope that there is a good resolution and a good progression towards something much more positive in the coming weeks. Thank you.